Welcome to Unapologetically Tea Podcast. Y'all know what I'm about to say. Did you miss me? Did you miss me? I hope you did. I miss y'all too. What's up, Erica? What's up, Alex? Thank you. These two sisters here has held me down. Yes, God, they're doing positive things. My girl Alex just got featured in a magazine that I'm gonna post later. But I don't think we have any church announcements today, but I am opening the floor up to if you have a business or if you have an event going on, please let me know. You can email me at iamtiffanyrenee.pr@gmail.com. That is iamtiffanyrenee.pr@gmail.com. So let's get it cracking. I don't know if y'all heard that song that I played. It is called Jesus Children. It was originally sung by Stevie Wonder, and then Robert Glasper decided to remake it with not only Layla Hathaway, but Malcolm-Jamal Warner. This was a cultural hit today, and I'm just going to put it out there, people. That is the only passing that I am acknowledging on this podcast. That's all I'm going to say about it. Theo. This is dedicated to Theo. Man, one thing I love about Malcolm-Jamal Warner was not only during the epidemic, which they call the crack epidemic, during that time, our young black males were painted as criminals, drug dealers, unfortunately dead, and they were not educated. And with Malcolm-Jamal Warner coming on as Theo, it showed you throughout his whole life of positive black men. Like, yes, we are educated. Yes, we can talk intelligently. Yes, we can go above and beyond in our community. And one thing about Malcolm was, unlike other child actors or actress, he did not crash out. He got motivated. He started doing TV shows, being an activist. So I have been listening to Jesus Children all day yesterday, and that's him at the end speaking. And in the end, he said, "Fly high." So this episode is dedicated to the one and only Malcolm-Jamal Warner. We're going to have a moment of silence just to show respect. All right, here we go. The title of today's message is called "It's a Different World." Now, for us 80s babies, some 90s babies, we do know about "It's a Different World" from where you come from. And I decided to title this because it feels like we are living in a different world. It feels like, it doesn't feel like the world that we grew up in. And I truly believe it has something to do with the television programming. Remember, television programming. They program you through the TVs. And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theory or whatever. But back then we had positive black shows. Like, it made us wanting to strive better. And now with the integration of a lot of reality shows, which we know is fake, and social media influencers, it is changing our children's future, where they don't see themselves as kings and queens and educated and can own a business. And I feel like as our generation, we need to show them, go back, showing them throwbacks of what it looked like to be a Black woman and a Black man or Black teenager in America, that you can achieve outside of this. And you already know they're actually, I don't have to say it, they're literally trying to erase our history. They're literally trying to erase our history. So I'm going to dive into what these shows have done for us and how we can reclaim the narrative. So let me get my book out. Also, I am working on integrating some stuff. So next time I'll be able to do more. I will be having special guests coming on soon. I can't tell you who the first one or the second one or the third one will be, but I'm going to have guest speakers coming in to tell their story. And I welcome in, if you want to tell your story, like I said, this platform is not only for me, it's for you as well. So let's start with A Different World. Before I hop into it, tag down in the comments or comment, what was your favorite episode from A Different World? Y'all got a couple of seconds. What was your favorite episode on A Different World? What was your all-time favorite episode or episodes? Because, it was a lot. I'm not going to wait too long because I ain't going to hold y'all. So my favorite episode, I am going to have to say, I'm not going to go with the wedding episode. Baby, please. Yeah. Although that joke was fire. I will have to say one of my favorite episodes would have to be, it's kind of a dark episode, but it has so much power. And I think it's called No Means No, or Just Say No. It's in the second or third season. Yeah, Alex, when Dwayne proposed to Whitley. Baby, baby, please. FYI, that baby, please line totally ad-libbed. So, I think it's called Just Say No or No Means No. I think it's in like the second or third season when Debbie Allen came onto the scene with the gangster lean and made it very blackety black. Let me drop some notes for you. When the first season of Different World premiered, they had a director named Ann Bettis. And I know some of y'all like, who the heck is Ann Bettis? Ann Bettis, if you've seen the Ghostbusters movie, she's the secretary. That's who directed the first season. And after that, Debbie Allen came on the scene and just changed up the whole narrative. So I think it's called Just Say No. It's about Freddie. She meets this baseball. She has a crush on this baseball player named, I think it's Garth. And she's really into him. And what he does is he's pretty much a rapist. And he says something so powerful in that episode, like, I think he said something like, when girls say, they don't want to, it's up to us to, go along or something like that. If it's on Netflix, so check it out. it definitely broke down not only college life, but the importance of going out on a date and possibly being raped and how they are unreported. And it's so sad right now, it's still being unreported because some of the people feel like, okay, if I'm on a date, I'm asking for it by the way I dress and everything else. And with that episode became many more episodes, but that was my favorite episode because not only is it poignant, but it's also so true. And that's what A Different World did for us. A Different World taught us values, how to respect each other, how to recognize, the other race, because I don't know if you noticed, it was just, blackity black, knowing about the fraternities and sororities and, having professors, not only, Dr. Randolph, and Dr. Foster was my favorite professor. Dr. Foster, oh my God, that dude, he throws so much. He throws shade. But it made us want to go to college. All of us. I'm going to be honest. I know I ain't the only one. I thought Hillman College was a real college. Going to Whitehaven High School, going to my guidance counselor, I said, she asked me, so what college you want to go to? I said, Hillman College. That's when my dreams were crushed to find out that Hillman College wasn't really a real college. But that's what it did back in the day. It made us want to go to college. It made us want to embrace our culture. It made us want to be greater. And a lot of people back then was given slack as well. Like, with the Cosby Show, they said, oh, this is not how Black people every day do things. And it was, despite the person that's name on it. Yeah. Despite that person, it showed positive Black families. It showed positive Black students. Think about it. If y'all can remember, if we can go way back, 80s babies, when it came to television, they only saw us in the struggle or playing second to, let me go ahead and say it, the white man. Good Times, I think it's Give Me a Break, Different Strokes, Webster. They saw us in the struggle, not saying they were groundbreaking. Yes, it got our narrative out, but it got the wrong narrative out. So I believe that Different World was a culture shift for us. And think about it, when that show came out, it had people like me, young people like me looking up and saying, I want to go to college. This looks cool. It made college look cool. It made college look cool. And when you think about it right now, we don't have those shows anymore. And that's sad. But I'm going to go ahead and say my favorite character. My favorite character is still Whitley Gilbert. I love Whitley. Whitley through Timeless Shade. I love her mom. Like, y'all had to go back and watch these episodes. The shade that was thrown. Because Whitley was like this pampered princess. But then she had episodes where she had a rude awakening. Even though, she was light skinned. It's another episode where she goes into this jewelry store and she's there with Freddie and the white lady behind the counter, even though she's light skinned and she's blended in before, she treated her less than. I forgot the name of that episode, but it taught us a lot. It was a mixture of funny moments, groundbreaking moments, and history moments. So I am asking you, people that are listening to the sound of my voice, if you've never, ever, ever seen A Different World, it's out on Netflix. Please go see it. And that's what I feel like right now is missing in the culture. positive black shows. Now, I'm gonna be honest, because it's my podcast. They doing a remake on Netflix. Ugh. It's a good start. One thing I could give to Netflix, I give Netflix a shout out for actually airing some of the shows that were on major networks, and which I forgot to tell you, if you remember, these were on major networks. Prime time, 7 p.m. The youngsters don't know about prime time, 7 p.m. Like you had to be in front of the TV. But this remake, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. It's good for Netflix to do the remake, but I'm not a 100% in, because I'm not a remake person. Some things need to stay classic. So, but if Netflix do their formula right and incorporated some of the old elements and pretty much add the new elements, I think it would definitely be a cultural shift for the younger generation. But if they're trying to do like Coming to America 2, when they try to add everything and the plot didn't make sense, yeah, I really think Netflix should, I hope the person is, I think, yeah, Debbie Allen is directing it. Thank God. They should take the old elements of the story, of the structure, but transition to what this new culture, these new set of kids are into. I hope that this season that's coming up on Netflix, Different World, will be the cultural reset we need. Because a lot of kids are not going to college. A lot of kids is not, trying to have a career. A lot of kids just, want to be social media famous. And trust me, yeah, it's good to be social media famous, but one thing I have learned in this business and watching, you only have your 5 seconds of fame and then it's gone. They're on to the next trend. But I am pleading to Netflix. I hope that y'all don't lose the essence of the show. Please don't lose the essence of the show. I'm still kind of leery. I'm gonna be honest. I'm still kind of leery. But please don't lose the essence of the show. Oh, I ain't show y'all my shirt. It says Ron, Denise, Whitley, Dwayne, Kimberly, the real OGs. But I am really hoping that they don't lose their essence. I'm praying, but that's what needs to happen. So definitely I wish we did have a different world, because the outcome of what's going on right now, and trust me, on this podcast, I'm not going to get political. I don't want to get political. I'll leave that to the news networks to do that. But if I want to be so honest, I am. They trying to really erase our essence every day. They are really trying to strip us down to not think that we're not kings, we're not queens, we're not educated, we're not smart, we're not intelligent. And the stuff that they're feeding on this social media platform that's going to this young generation, that is, their brains are just soaking it up. So it is up to us to teach. Like I said, like y'all see in the background, boom. Bachelor's, masters, bachelor's, masters. And it was a different world that made me want to go to college. But I'm urging everyone, the sound of my voice, to sit down with your kids or teenagers or young adults to watch these shows, to watch Different World. It's up to you if you want to watch The Cosby Show. But Claire Huxtable, she is the Renaissance Black woman. And, she's the creator of Big Fun in Baltimore. So I'm going to go through another thing that was a cultural shift. Fox on Thursdays. I wonder if my 80s and 90s babies remember Fox on Thursdays. Another primetime slot. If you don't remember what Fox on Thursdays was, it was Martin, Living Single, and New York Undercover. Those three shows, predominantly black shows. Martin, Living Single, and New York Undercover. And that was the only time that black households were able to sit, watch TV. There was no crime going on, at least in my neighborhood. I grew up in LVG, so, it wasn't no texting. It was more so of, hey, Martin finna come on in 5 minutes, and you go run. Martin showed, just an everyday DJ that, had a relationship that had ups and downs and, ins and outs, and had regular friends. And, it showed black love, which I feel like back then it was a positive representation. And even Martin had, his episodes where, he got immersed in the culture, but, it was in his own way. My favorite Martin episode is, I would have to say, the Varnell Hill Show. That's where I get that. Did you miss May? You can take the children, burning on their knees, bounce them on their knees and sing a melody. Varnell Hill, the original king of R&B. But it showed, and it was so many celebrities. And one thing I got to give Martin credit for, he brought celebrities that were, dominant. I'm going to just take this out because I'm tired of, I'm just going to put this in. I don't want to be distracted by the message. He brought celebrities that was from the early 70s to integrate into the 90s. He brought people like, Dolomite, Huggy Bear from Starsky and Hutch, Pam Grier, and brought them, and even Richard Pryor. And not only that, musical guests, Forever Shanae. And one thing about Martin's genius, we can relate to every character that he did by himself. This was before Eddie Murphy and the Clumps and everybody doing these multiple characters. Martin was on the scene doing it. We can all relate to an Otis. We all know an Otis. We all know a Shanae. We all know the little kid with the snotty nose and stuff like that. We all knew we all knew a Mama Payne. We all knew a Dragonfly Jones. He gave us relatable characters. And, it was just like, oh, shoot, I know a Dragonfly Jones, but I definitely knew a Shanae. But it was relatable. It was positive. It was, and then it incorporated hip hop. Which was the soundtrack of our lives at that time. So with Martin, yeah, it was funny, but think about it. What he did for the culture was he made people that others may look upon as or discard them and made them the star of the show. Everybody know there is a Shanae. I know a Shanae and made her part of the show. My favorite line for Shanae, like, I can prove to you I'm a lady. I can bust in your head right now. I've said that before. Lord, forgive me. But he made these people that anybody else can look down on, like, in society, and made them the center of it. And I gotta give props. I gotta give big ups to Martin. The next one was Living Single. We are living single. I think it's on Hulu. It used to be on HBO Max. Martin, you can catch on Netflix or whatever. I think, yeah. Living Single was another cultural shift. It showed four black women from all walks of life. You had Khadijah, who was the owner of a magazine. You had Regine, that was a buyer at a boutique, but wore wigs like, oh my gosh. Yes, she made any wig look good. Trust me, Regine was my idol. She was my wig idol. Then you had Maxine, who was a high-power attorney. Then you had Sinclair, the ditzy cousin, but she's trying to find her way through life. And then you had the fellas. You had Kyle, that was the stockbroker, and Overton, that was the handyman. It showed 6 Black people from all walks of life dealing with different things, but it's coming together. And it had a bomb theme song. And if you go on YouTube and hear their original theme song, you be like, thank God they changed it. But I want to give you a little scoop. So I don't know if you noticed, watch the first episode of Living Single. The first episode of Living Single is pretty much the Family Matters household, but in a different kind of setting. That's what it is. I promise you, watch that first episode. It's pretty much the Family Matters household, but at a different setting, because they felt like the show wouldn't be successful. In fact, they only filmed just a few episodes because at that time they're like, okay, what does, having 4, Black women, 2 Black men, what is it? It's not going to get no viewers, but it did. It had a lot of episodes. It showed all walks of life. Khadijah being a journalist. That was the first time I ever saw a female journalist owning her own magazine. And I thought to myself, wow, I could do that one day. And I know with, Regine with the wigs and wanting to be bougie. And y'all know me back in my heyday, I used to wear a lot of wigs. And, Max being a high-powered attorney, taking cases that moved on to being the mayor and then moved on to having a baby by Kyle. But it showed Black people under one roof. And the messed up part about the situation was they weren't able to get the budget that Friends got. They had a lower budget than Friends got. But it still was a good show. But once again, that was a show where we were inspired that, okay, I can achieve this great. Showing, and of course, they had their spats, they had this, but it shows that, okay, 4 Black women under 3 Black women under one roof can exist sometime. Yeah, they spat out like sisters, but when it came to, one having a problem, they all gathered together. So that was Living Single. Now, New York Undercover, baby. Ooh, Eddie. New York Undercover was definitely one of those shows. It showed that you can have someone that's African American and that's Latino that is trying to solve crimes. And then at the end, at Natalie's, the musical guest at Natalie's. Oh my gosh. Man, it made me kind of want to go to Natalie's when I got older. I'm like, so this is what the club like. But they touched on a lot of issues. And once again, hip hop oriented. Like we didn't have, a Black cop show. I think we had In the Heat of the Night, but even still, it was the Black guy that was being the sidekick. Miami Vice, it was the Black guy being the sidekick. In New York Undercover, they are working together. There is no sidekick. JC is not the sidekick of Eddie, and Eddie is not the sidekick of JC. They work together, and they were able to solve crimes, and it formed a brotherhood. And here's another thing that was revolutionary about New York Undercover. It showed black and brown relations. We didn't have that. We didn't have that in the beginning. I may be wrong. We didn't have that. It was no sidekick. It wasn't like, JC and Eddie, they showed them coming together to solve, just like brothers, learning each other's culture. And like I said, we don't have it produced by Andre Harrell, God rest his soul, created by Dick Wolf. And you saw a range of characters. You saw, an Asian person that was, I guess, the medical examiner. He always had jokes. You saw, a white lady that was the chief, but they call her Lou. And, you saw different people actually working together. And we haven't seen that in a long time. So New York Undercover was definitely a culture shift. And Fox Thursdays was it. And we don't have that anymore. When last time you seen, I think the last black show they had on CBS was with Damon Wayans and his son, and it got canceled after one season. Really, really think about it. Do we have any positive black shows on major networks? Not Hulu, not Netflix, not HBO Max, not Paramount Plus, not BET Plus. I'm talking on major networks for the world to see. Do we have those? I may be wrong, but I ain't seen none. I ain't seen none whatsoever. I think, what is it, Beyond the Gates or something like that? But think about it. We was ruling primetime on CBS, NBC, Fox. We were ruling primetime and saying, hey, we are unapologetically black people. We're unapologetic. This is us. Not no, we're going to, try to culture shift and go to the other side. No, we just like, we black, we proud. This is how we do. This is what we eat. We use slang. This is how we dress. That was us. And I'm trying to figure out what happened. So, of course, other shows, Moesha, Steve Harvey Show, Family Matters, The Parkers, I can go on and on about these shows. But the one consistent message of all those shows is black people are special. We're gifted. We're talented. We can walk into spaces that they shut us out from years ago and be ourselves. That's what all these shows, like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like, what's the other one? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think I said Family Matters, Sister, The Parkers, Malcolm and Eddie. I don't know if y'all remember the show back on the WB, and they used to give WB so much crap, because they aired nothing but black shows. Sparks and Good News. Sparks was about two brothers that were lawyers, and Good News was about this pastor that was in the church. And even, I bet y'all didn't know this, at piggyback on Different World, there was a show that came on after Different World that only aired one season, starring the Miss Patti LaBelle, and it's called Out All Night. Look it up on YouTube. It starred Morris Chestnut, Patti LaBelle, Vivica Fox, and it was about a singer who decided to open a club. And, it showed us, like, this is us. We can operate in these spaces and still be us. And that's the values that these shows instilled in us. We can operate in these spaces We don't have to change our hair. We don't have to change our slang. We don't have to change what we listen to. We can be ourselves and still be real and still make an impact. And that's what we lost right now. And so what happened with these shows? What happened why we don't have it now? I think reality shows pretty much damage the upward mobility of Black excellence. I'm going to say it, my platform, the reality shows. Now, granted, did I watch reality shows? Yes, I did. I did watch Flavor of Love, America's Next Top Model, Basketball Wives, The Braxtons, Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, religiously, The Real Housewives. I don't like The Real Housewives 1 and 2. After that season, it was trash to me. But with these reality shows, even though it's a reality show, these shows did not show us in the best light all the times. They show us fighting. They show us lying on each other. They show us trying to plot or steal or trying to, spread rumors. And think about it. Think about when Flavor of Love came out. I think Flavor of Love came out in like 2005, 6, whatever. This is when the new generation was born. Around that time, where Flavor of Love came out, where, Love and Hip Hop and all these other different shows. These reality shows didn't show us in the best light. And that's what caused the diminishing of the Black excellence on major networks. That's what happened. These reality shows, as much as we all love them, let's peel back the layer. This was the diminishing of Black excellence. This is what caused the decline of Black excellence. Just to be honest. Think about it. Think about before then, when reality shows were out. The only reality show that I remember was The Real World. And even then, that paint us in, the one Black person that, everybody have a problem with. But I can't really think of any more reality shows. But even still, that was the first reality show. And then the market became saturated with reality shows, showing us in these different lights. Even on down to, I only watched one episode of Sunday's Best. Kim Burrell got on my freaking nerves. She wanted me to punch, even though she's a badass vocalist. I can't take away from her talent, but I almost wanted to punch her in the face, especially what she said about the LGBTQIA plus community. I ain't gonna read her, but I feel like the reality shows hitting the market was the decline of Black excellence. Think about it. All this stuff we did in the 80s and 90s, where you show people in these lights operating in these spaces. Go now to, somebody sucker punching their daughter, and when she deserved it. Sucker punching their daughter, and us fighting, and, the baddies, and it's, and kids, they're looking up to that. They're like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to react, cool. And then they're playing right into the narrative. The thing that we work so hard to be progressive is now being taken away from us. And I think that is what the problem is. That's what the problem is that, and here's another thing, even though all these streaming networks are great, Netflix, Hulu, I ain't gonna say Paramount Plus because I plan on canceling them because they was wrong. And even VH1 became super ratchet after Flavor of Love. I can tell you when VH1 had the RuPaul show, the first drag queen that had her own show in the 2000s. That was not heard of. And now VH1 is Ratchet City. Ratchet City. And I feel like that caused our decline, people. It did. It really did, and it's so sad. And then when you integrate social media, post these particular clips from these reality shows where everybody could see it, that just really reinforced the narrative, you know. And then you have influencers that's like, oh, this show is good on YouTube. Doing reviews. And here's the thing, I'm not hating on the influencers. Get your money to do the reviews. Hey, get your money, get your bag. But you see how all of this is working together to pretty much take away what little black essence that we have in media, in television. It's stripping us away. So that is the problem. And here's another thing I have noticed is not a lot of black movies are out. Now, Sinners, I don't care what you say. Sinners was a cultural reset. It's what we needed to see all day, every day. But remember the black movies that premiered in a movie theater alongside box office hits? You don't have those anymore. Have y'all noticed that? You don't have, it used to be a time where you could see, Love Jones, What's Love Got to Do with It, next to Jurassic Park or Freddy Krueger, which Love Jones is my favorite movie. Clyde, yeah. But you don't even see that anymore. All the black movies is going onto streaming networks. And yes, streaming networks is definitely gaining a momentum, but I would love to see us in the movie theater again. The only time, besides Sinners, the only other movie where we showed up and showed out looking like, Coming to America reimagined was Black Panther. That was the last time we all came out like Coming to America. Even I had my African skirt on and everything, but I don't see those movies anymore. We had choices. We had like Thin Line Between Love and Hate. We had Kingdom Come. We had Baby Boy. We had Boomerang. Showing next to these box office hits, which integrated everything. And we don't have that anymore. So, what's going on, y'all? Like, I just feel like that now with the media and movies, in my opinion, because it's my platform, we done went back to separate but equal. Yeah, I said it, so what? We went back to separate but equal. Think about it. We got all the primetime shows. They got all the primetime shows on the networks. What do we get? Stars, Netflix, Hulu, if you lucky, Paramount Plus. BET has always been down. I'm gonna circle back to BET because we almost out of time. They got the primetime slots. Their movies are being played. You probably only have one black movie every cycle. It's not a variety of them. The majority of the black movies now are being seen on streaming network, which is cool. But I feel like they're pigeonholing us back again. The whole separate but equal. And we're not getting on the major networks. They're pretty much saying, okay, Well, at least as long as you stream this, you know, you can get that amount of money and so on and so forth. But we're not in the movie theaters anymore. I want y'all to really think about that. Take your time and think about it. We're not in the movie theaters anymore. We're not on the major networks anymore. We have been reduced to streaming. Separate but equal. Because the major networks and probably, the theaters and directors kind of like, nobody gonna go see that. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and push this out on Hulu or Amazon or Prime or whatever. Because look, if we take a loss, at least, we could take a loss here versus putting it out there in the movie theater. And like I said, Sinners was a culture reset because it was an independent film and it made money. Why it made money? Because many people went back to go see it again. And also, if you've never seen Sinners, if you got HBO Max, it's on there right now. Please pay attention to everything. That's why they was mad. Because it broke box office records. Because, like I said, we haven't seen each other. We haven't seen us on the big screen in a long time. We haven't. So I am really asking directors, writers, film producers. It's up to y'all to change the narrative. Even if you don't have a place to shop for it, save up, make your own, do your own platform. Because now we're in the age where they want you already prepackaged, and then you could sell whatever and be like, nah, this is what I want, and this is the credits that I want to get it. So it looks like we are about to bring to a close. As I bring to a close, a lot of every black pastor says, all to y'all shake. As us 80s babies, if you have children, nieces, nephews, mentees, teach them about their culture. Turn the TV off. Like Kendrick Lamar said, turn the TV off. It's time for us to turn the TV off. Especially during these days right now, we need to turn the TV off and sit them down and say, hey, this is Black culture. Yes, you can be a lawyer. Yes, you can go to a historically Black college. Yes, you can do a lot of things. Yes, you can be an activist. You can be unapologetically you, your slang, your music, and you can still be accepted in those spaces. You don't have to code switch. So I'm urging y'all, turn the TV off. Reintroduce them to positive shows. That's all you got to do. Like, I'm proud of my daughter that she watches Different World and Living Single. And both of us can quote lines like, when she was in college, she asked me about A Different World. And I'm like, yeah. And, I told her, the first season wasn't really all that. It was just spinning off of Denise going to college. But she's starting to watching all seasons and watching, Different World and, other things. We got to reintroduce our values, our culture back to this young generation. So we need to tell them, or do it ourselves, basically do it yourself. Turn the TV off. Let's come in here and watch Martin. Just watch one episode. Now, back in the day, we had an option to tell mom and be like, hey, mom, I want to watch Martin. We wouldn't be here to tell the story. So I am begging you, I am pleading with everyone under the sound of my voice. It's time to turn the TV off. Social media. anything that is shifting the narrative and slowly erasing our history. It's time to turn it off. It is up to us to tell the young generation that we are not like this. We actually are like this. This did happen at one point in time. We did have an actual black Supreme Court justice named Thurgood Marshall, not this coon that's in there right now. Yeah, I said it. We actually had, people that were in spaces. We actually had television program. Y'all remember Teen Summit on BET? Where that at now? Do we have anything called Teen Summit? For those who don't know what Teen Summit is, it used to come on Saturday mornings, and basically in a nutshell, they get all different teens, black teens, to have an open discussion. It was their show to talk about their issues, and sometimes they'll have celebrities on there, they have politicians, to hear the voice of the young people, and that was on BET. We don't have Teen Summit no more. And I bet you, oh my God, if somebody could bring Teen Summit back, I feel like that right there would be a reset for this up and coming generation. I promise you that will be a reset. So if you are listening, go on YouTube, look at Teen Summit BET. But I just thank you guys for listening to me tonight. Like I said, I'm still working on some things about getting it integrated on, YouTube and other things. And I decided to go kind of guerrilla style for now, but hopefully I will have some new equipment. And of course, I'm going to have some guests. And I'm so excited about these two sisters that's coming on. I ain't going to tell you who they are. But if you would like to be a guest on my show, Unapologetically T, once again, email me at I am Tiffany Renee, P as in public, R as in relations, at gmail.com. Pitch me your story if you want to be on my show. Pitch me your story. I ain't gonna let anybody on this microphone with no BS. Pitch me your story. And I would gladly open up this platform for you. And also, if you want to advertise, or if you got up and coming events, aka church announcements, you can email me that too at I am Tiffany Renee PR at gmail.com, because I'm all about helping each other and trying to, set the narrative straight and get back to telling our stories and not letting anybody else tell it for us. So, once again, this episode is dedicated to Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Thank you for being the essence of a smart, intelligent, talented Black man. You heard this definitely put a damp on the culture. This hit us hard. But I hope there's a young man that's out there that would follow the footsteps of Theodore Huxtable, aka Theo. All right. And as I always close, and also I might have an episode next week. It's going to be a fluff piece called Is It Okay for You to Spin the Block? Is it good for you to spin the block? Yeah, and that would be a question. Is it okay for you to spin the block? But I thank you guys for joining me. This will be up on Spotify, Apple, and also iHeartRadio. And I will upload the video on YouTube later on this evening, but I'm working on some things. Let me cook. Let me cook. And as I always say, you have the right to tell your story. Don't give anyone else the right to tell it for you. Peace and blessings. Ah, okay. Woo! I have to do the I had to do the I had to do the Ric Flair. I thank everybody that came in the chat. Erica, thank you, girl. Like all those encouraging words, like, yes, slay, beautiful, gorgeous, talented, creative, unique. And sometimes you need that because sometimes I don't feel like that. And we need to start encouraging each other. Like I see you and not be, jealous behind it. Alex, my girl. Man, Alex is doing so many positive things. Hey, Nicole, I'm gonna post her article after this, and I just want you to follow Alexandra Grant. She has her own company, and she give life consulting as well. So Alexandra Grant, and hopefully you can go ahead and post your information. But if not, go to her page right now. Not now, but right now. Of course, thank you to Cara for coming online. Thank you. Thank you, JG, for coming online as well. Thank you. But I hope you got something